Hey guys, what is up? It is Sainty DJ and we are back for episode number 7 of our Let's Play. So last episode we went and built up this monstrosity of a house. And it looks awesome. And we did all of this just to house our best buddy Gary in here, who has been taking care of our little crop farm. So the crop farm was supposed to be our new alternative of our food, but he hasn't really been producing much. I think we have enough for one piece of bread, which yeah, isn't quite what we want, so it isn't as efficient. But besides that, we still need to do the interior for this house, but I think we'll do that off camera because I don't actually know what I have planned as of yet. However, I did manage to finish the interior for our last build. So this house is fully done. We've got the insides looking really nice. So the first floor has this dining table and a bit of a kitchen. And the last level is our master bedroom. So we got a nice ensuite bathroom over to the right. And we got a bit of a dresser over here. But we are wanting to add in some lamps, some standing lamps, but we need some end rods. So it's going to be a bit of a while. But besides that, this build is now complete and we can scratch that off. So we've had this world for over 600 days now. And we've only ventured about 500 blocks in each direction. And we have only come across a few biomes. We are still yet to find a cherry grove biome, a swamp biome, and a desert biome. So I'm hoping today that we can find those biomes, and I'm hoping to collect some beehives as well, and maybe even our first horse. Because as much as I love adventuring on foot, it does take a toll, unfortunately, on our hunger. And before I forget, we did do another thing off camera. We ended up moving all our storage into a proper storage area. So in our pantry in our house, we have all the materials, all the necessities that we'll ever need. But I have noticed that it is already piling up and we're already running out of space. So hopefully we can keep that at bay for now. But I think a future project, we will have to make a new storage area. But before we go, we gotta say goodbye to a few friends. Goodbye, Beatrix. Goodbye, Trap Zombie. Goodbye, Gary. I'll miss you, mate. Now, with that out of the way, it is time to set out on a journey. And holy moly, this base is completely covering the ground here. We're gonna be needing a whole lot of torches to just light this area up. So unfortunately, we are surrounded by an entire savanna biome. And I feel like if we go this way, we should come across a new biome. So in saying that, let's go. So another thing I forgot to mention was that in order to tame a horse, we must find a saddle. Now, I wish that this saddle could be a craftable item, but it is not. In order to find one, we need to explore structures, dungeons, and even a stronghold to be able to come across one. So since villages were so common, this meant that we had the highest chance of finding a saddle within a village. So it was time to do some village hunting. Now within our first village, it was time to check our first chest. And as much as the items inside were good, there was still no saddle. But in saying that, the first village wasn't a total loss. We made sure to gather as much haystacks as possible, as this would become a valuable resource. With the first village out of the way, it was time for the next. Now, what I didn't anticipate next was how impossible it was to find this saddle. Village after village and chest after chest. It had seemed my luck had finally run out, and I could not find this saddle. So I decided to take a break and go in search of some beehives. So I figured the best place to find these bees' nests would be in a forest. So that is exactly where I started my search. And you wouldn't believe who I found. And with my new best friend Barry, I knew there was nothing stopping us. At last, our first bee nest. So there are many ways of collecting them, but the most easiest way is with a silk touch tool. Now we just had to wait for the bees to go inside before we collect it. And the only time they do is at night or if it's raining. So it was time to set up camp and wait till the bees go night night. Now that all the bees are safely secure, it was time to collect it. And with that now in their inventory, it was time to go find some more. And boom! Now with a total of 6 bee nests, I could safely say that we now have enough. And we could finally go back to finding that saddle. But this time we decided to go underground in search for some spawners, as this also had a high chance of having saddles. But yet again, no luck. Then I came across a massive body of water and I decided to cross it in hopes that I'd find some better biomes out there. Come on Barry, time to go buddy. We're going to go out and find some other land. And off we went. Now I gotta tell you, I don't know where it came from, but I'm absolutely petrified of the deep dark parts of the ocean. It's some sort of phobia, I don't know what it's called, but this game really brought it out. When I was in the middle of nowhere and I could only see ocean around me, I decided to hop out and yeah, it just creeped me out. Scared jet. And eventually we made it to the other end. And we even found a sea monument within our travels. So we made a mental note of this for a later video. Now, the main goal was to find as many structures as possible, as these could only give us the saddle. However, no matter how many biomes and new landscapes we found, we barely found any structures. The only structures we came across was a sunken shipwreck and a damaged portal. And yet again, still no saddle. We even found a mangrove biome, which we're going to take that as a win. There was one structure that I knew would definitely have a saddle in it, and I just had to find it. And that structure is the Desert Temple. But the only problem is I can only find this in a desert, and we have come across no desert biome. So I did one last push to find this biome. So for hours I searched and I could not find a desert biome, but I did manage to find a cherry grove, and beyond that was a desert biome. Just as I was about to give up, as soon as I saw that sand, it made all those hours of searching worth it. But as I walked over that ridge, my face dropped. I had officially given up and I was ready to head back to base to empty my inventory and maybe give it a go another episode. I decided to stop by the village nearby in hopes that maybe I'd get a few diamonds or a few emeralds to cheer me up. No way, we did it! Hello! Finally, we had found our saddle and we were ready to go back home. And I gotta tell you, the entire trip on the way back, I couldn't wipe a grin off my face. And boy, does it feel good to be back at base. So just heading into the back here to place down our bee nest. Now I'm not gonna do anything too fancy, just gonna do a simple scaffolding and bee's nest on top of that, and then a birch trapdoor. And yeah, that looks good. And yeah, this doesn't look too bad. I'm not too stressed about any designs at the moment or any layout. We will eventually get some campfires down and probably actually get some sort of farm going. But for now, I'm pretty happy with this. Now this, in the nicest way possible, looks crap. I hate seeing all this underbelly. Now guys, it wouldn't be a Sainty DJ episode without some building. So in saying that, we're going to fill in this little bit over here and kind of slope it down to this grass bottom. Now, unfortunately with the space, we don't have a lot to play around with, so we're going to have to slope this down very quickly. So we'll have to do some sort of cliff. Now in saying that, it's time to get building. Now we're going to do a bit of a retaining wall along the bottom of this cliff. And with that in, it is time to place down our flowers. And wow, does this look pretty. So I decided to add in some mini blocks. The bee's nest in particular, because I think these look cool. So they could look like little bees forming up some small hives. And we get this from the wandering trader that we have in the world. Alright guys, now that we got that out of the way, it is time to finally get that horse. And for once, it didn't take that long to find one. And the moment we've all been waiting for, the taming. Ooh, we're kind of blending in here. And what do you know, we have a new best friend. Now I don't know what to call him yet, or if it's a she, I'm not quite sure. But we can figure that out in a later episode. Because guys, that's going to be it for today's episode. So I hope you all did enjoy. We had a blast once we actually got what we wanted. And yeah, it was so worth it. So now it's time to go back home and enjoy our little bee farm. And I'll see you all in the next episode.